Black beanie time, bro. What's up, bro? As you can see, I'm at my aunt's place, and we've changed. The environment has changed, and it kind of feels weird because I'm used to having like the papers in the back. So, if you've been on NoFap, right, or if you've been trying NoFap, that you've probably gone a couple of weeks without really having the urge to fap, and then when the 8th day strikes, end up fapping, forgetting all the videos you've watched, techniques you've learned, the books you've read, and then you start regretting yourself and asking yourself, how did this happen? Everything was going so well. Why don't these techniques really work anymore? And I've been facing this too, bro. Like, I have been on NoFap for a couple of months, and sometimes even here I get the urge to fap, but then I don't, because I've adopted this new technique to help me not fap. And this technique is basically using negative emotions to combat bad habits. Using negative emotions to combat bad habits is like a rare thing being mentioned in this self-improvement space. Like, the only time that I hear negative emotions being mentioned in a positive way is when you have to motivate yourself to change your life. Other than that, it's just, don't think about negative thoughts. You have to be happy all the time. Gratitude, journaling. Happy, that's good, right? Negative thoughts are overall bad, but then some negative thoughts can help you achieve things. Like, negative emotions like sadness, depression, those things are not going to help you, but anger and hatred can somewhat help you, forward your life. And I got this idea of negative emotions being used to your bad habits by this YouTube channel called Far From Weak. In this video, where Kratos told me that if you want to defeat bad habits, you gotta use anger and hate. You gotta have anger and hatred towards this thing. And to be honest, that's the only YouTube channel in the whole space that has ever told me that. That's contrary to, deep breathing, testicle breathing, think positive thoughts. Like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Why not use negative emotions to beat that bad habit? And then that's when I started to realize that some negative emotions can be a good thing. Can we use that to destroy bad habits? Cool, right? So a cool example to see where negative emotions being used for good is when, like, you've seen your best friend or you gone through a bad breakup. Your girlfriend leaves you. She says she doesn't want you, and then you go to the gym, and then now you're pushing yourself, using that heartbreak and pain to make you a better version of yourself, right? So why can't we just do that, but for bad habits? And it kind of sounds like the stress is enhancing mindset, right? If you didn't know, stress is enhancing mindset is basically the way you perceive stress. If you perceive stress as negative, it will negatively impact you. But if you see stress as a good thing, it will positively impact you. So if we see anger and hatred as somewhat of a good thing in accordance to destroying bad habits, I think it can positively help us, right? If we get pissed at the thought of touching ourselves, we are more likely to not even open that tab and leave our phone and go do something else, or aggressively do push-ups while listening to Omni-Man and David Goggins, Omni-Man's theme song with David Goggins screaming in the background. Like, I'll play the audio. It's kind of funny. I do that myself. Enough convincing. I've convinced you enough. You have said, okay, AJ, you make sense. I don't want to give my soul away to my AI girlfriend. The way we can implement this is very simple. It's developing a shit list for fapping, right? We don't want to fap anymore. We want to get pissed at fapping, right? That's the shit list. So we basically take a journal or a paper and we write down on the top of the paper that porn shit list, fapping shit list. I don't want to fap anymore, right? And then I want you to go all out. Don't hold anything back. You need to write down the worst consequences if you touch yourself, and it has to be gut-wrenching. It has to cause pain within you. It has to make you pissed that you want to even do it, right? You have to go all out. And the thing about this paper, you don't show anyone. Like, keep it. It's your little secret. Hide it somewhere. It's yours. It's only you who has to see it. And I've written mine in my black journal, but I don't have it now. You know, I've saved it on my phone. So in worst case scenario, I just open my phone and I can see what I've written, and I don't have to do it anymore. And I get pissed at not trying to fap. So once you've done that, right, you've written down everything, like my family's name will not be remembered, my future wife will get married to someone else who can control themselves, my future kids are getting washed down the drain, the future astronauts, billionaires, the world's best of the best is getting washed down in the toilet. After you've written those things down, you then keep it somewhere where it's easily accessible to you, not anyone else, to you, and where it can serve as a type of, fail safe if the urges get too much to handle. Like, that's the point of using this shit list to you. Also, as a disclaimer, I kind of somewhat understand that you can end up beating yourself up if you then end up fapping. So the way we can prevent that is just focusing on the positive. And I know I kind of sound like I'm contradicting myself, but bro, this habit is lust, bro. This habit is lust, and lust is one of the most powerful bad habits out there. Like, bro, smoking, eating junk food, spending time on your phone, like, that's simple shit, bro. Like, the one bad habit that's out there that's killing, that's literally taking a lot of guy's potential, is porn and lust. And literally in the Bible, it is said that when you come upon the feeling or the sin of lust, don't try and fight it, run away. If God literally said that you should run away from a particular sin, like, dude, that's the only sin in the Bible that's told you to run away, then you should try to get all the help you can get. And I understand, like, using negative emotions, you can start beating yourself up if you do end up fapping. And my caveat to you is just focusing on the positive things about yourself, the things you've achieved, the things you are doing right, the stuff that you want to achieve, and the stuff that you've stopped doing, right? You should focus on that. If you then fapping, because you can end up beating yourself up because you say, oh, I'm a loser, I don't like doing this, yada yada yada. But then you're not, because if you're watching this type of content looking for help, then you're better than the other people who are coping, saying that, hey, this is not an addiction, fapping is good for me, I'm avoiding prostate cancer. Like, the fuck, bro, it's taking your potential. So if you enjoyed this video, thank you for watching. I hope I see you next week. Go hug a tree. And yeah, goodbye. Kaizen.